after you have created all of your roof trusses and spaced them across the top of your roof, you're going to need to add a center beam, and also, according to your instructions, you're going to add a roof platform, and you're going to put some shingles and things like that on it. So let's start with the beam. Let's go to the top view. We know that our house is 40 feet this way. So I'm going to draw a rectangle over here, and I'm going to make it 40 feet long, 40 feet, comma, and 4 inches wide. And I'm going to make this a component and call it roof beam. And then I'm going to take this center beam and I'm going to pull it up. Well, let's give it some wood coloring first. And then pull it up 8 inches. So I have a beam that's 40 feet long, 4 inches wide, and 8 inches high. I'm going to take this beam and I'm going to use the move tool to move it into position so that it is up in the center of my roof trusses. So I need to move to the end here and grab it, zoom in, and just position it. See, mine's a little bit off center, so I need to zoom in and find the end. Zoomed in a little bit too much, so now I have to zoom out a lot. But I do want to be right on that edge. Let's try and move this centered over here so we can see it a little bit better. Getting dizzy yet? Sorry about that. All right, let's try this again. Grab it and use the move tool. You want it to be as centered as it can be. I'm using the little red pluses there to help me center it. There we go. All right, so now my beam is centered. I'm actually going to pull it down a little bit more. I want it to go straight down. There we go. All right, now I have to add some sheathing to the side of the roof in order to put down my shingles. Before you put the shingles, there's a sort of an underlayment layer there. Now, there's many ways you can do this, but I'll just show you one way. Let's go to our layers, and we want to create a layer, and I'll call it roof underlayment. Just make sure that I have that layer active, and that's what's showing up here. And I'm going to start by making a rectangle. Again, there are many ways you can do this, but I'm going to make a rectangle. I know my house is 40 feet long, and I know that these are 6 inches high, so I'll make my rectangle 40 feet, comma, 6 inches. I will make that rectangle a component. Call it roof underlayment. I'll fill it with a wood color that's appropriate. And I'm going to use my push-pull to pull it out. A typical thickness is 3/4 of an inch. So I'll type 3/4 inch. And you'll notice my distance is showing up down here at the bottom of the screen. 3/4 of an inch. And hit enter. So, and forward 3/4 inch, enter. I want to flip this. This is not in the position I want it to be. Of course, I want it to be laying alongside of this. So I need to do a little bit of math and figure out that the angle that needs to be is 60 degrees. So let's select that, go down, turn it, and type in 60, enter. And then use my move tool to move this into position so that it sits right on top of that. Now, I will need to stretch this up so that it will reach up to the roof. And I've done a little bit of math ahead of time. And if I select this edge and begin to extrude it with the push-pull tool and type in 16 feet 10 inches, no comma, that should just about take up this whole side. And it does. It brings me right to the center here. This is going to be my underlayment. I'm also going to have a layer for shingles, but I'll do that separately. I'm going to take this and I'm going to control move a copy up, and so this is my underlayment for my plywood, and this is the layer where I'll put my shingles. Now I'm going to need the same thing on the other side, so I'm going to select both of them by holding the shift key down, control move, and I'm going to rotate both of these 60 degrees. And now I'll need to move these so that they just line up with the other two that I just created. And meet at the center there. Okay, so now I've created my two layers. I'm going to take my top layer. Actually, I think I would like to move these two out just a little bit more. Move them over a little bit more. There we go. All right. And then now I will move my center beam up so that it will cover that gap in between there. I'm not going to waste your time while I line this up perfectly, but you get the idea of how we want this to be. The beam should not extend above the plywood or the shingles, so I need to make sure that I move it down. And that's still going to leave a little gap in the middle there. So I'll need to extend these two upper pieces a little bit more until they meet. I'll make this one unique. And I'll take this one and make it unique. And I'll pull these two sides up until they close that gap. There we go. All right, so we have covered our gap, and now we can put some roofing material on here. So I'll select my one side here until I get the blue dot showing. I'll go over to my materials tool, and over here I will look for roofing and choose the kind of shingles that I would like to have, and then go to the other side. Keep clicking until I get the blue dots, and then fill in the shingles again. So now I have my whole roof unit ready to copy and paste onto my ranch house. So I'll select the whole thing, edit copy, go to my ranch house document, say edit paste. Now you would paste this so that it sits on top of the we'll look for the attic floor here, and we'll line up that attic floor with the corner like that so that we have the overhang. And now my roof is attached to my house, and I'm ready to put in the finishing details. That concludes this tutorial.